Now it's working. Shit. There we go. Let's get some damn music playing, man. Fuck. I'm stressed, man. I don't have time for this.
I'ma pull up so lit, I just might crash, dog. Let me take this Balenciaga mask off the ass, y'all. Who asked y'all? See, he told me to stump my ass off. That's all. Bop, 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 bop. He was a good cat, my bad, dog. Don't put no K after that B, boy. Bad call, that's flag talk. Fuck around and knock your flag off. I had to. I wore a gap before a tattoo.
Let me pause that because we don't have all day. I got stuff I gotta do, man. Listen, I know that a couple weeks ago I said I was making my return to doing shows more consistently, and then you're like, oh wait, why has it been 2 weeks and no show? Let me tell y'all what happened. Because people seem to think that I'm just in hiding. Fam, I had to have an emergency appendectomy a couple weeks ago. So my appendix was removed. I had a surgery. There were complications with the surgery, and I had to go back to have another procedure. So right now, I literally have this right here. This is a tube that is coming out of the top of my ass cheek that helps drain the fluid that got backed up from the complications in the surgery. Motherfuckers saw me on my story in a hospital gown at the place. They were like, oh my God, do you have COVID? Why is that y'all's first response to everything? No, nigga, I don't have COVID. I've been tested twice in the last couple of weeks. We're COVID free. I was vaccinated last April. This shit is easy, man. Not easy in the sense of, like being dismissive of how serious COVID is, because COVID is very serious, but I do not have COVID. I was at the hospital for other reasons. I have 3 holes in my stomach, a tube coming out of my ass that gets taken out today. Today is Tuesday. The reason the show is happening now is just because today's probably the first day I actually felt like myself and felt like doing this shit for y'all. It is a little bit warm in here. I just got out the shower, so I'm perspiring. That's what's happening. So, welcome to Lunchtime TV. I'm your host, Meemko Jackson. It's been a long time, 2 weeks. But like I said, it's because I've been laid up either in my own bed or in a hospital bed. So whatever the fuck y'all think, I don't give a shit. This is my biggest thing with this, because I wanted to say this. The show is not meant to be negative, but it's probably going to come off as such. And I do appreciate everybody that reached out. But there are a lot of people who looked at my story and then was like, oh my God, are you okay? Is there anything that I can do? No, there's not a damn thing that you can do. And I'm going to tell you why. Because most of you assholes have my phone number and you never use it. Now, I know I probably don't talk to you either, but you have my whole phone number. And most of y'all only reached out to me on Snapchat because all you niggas are corny. That's why. So if you reached out to me and you wondering why I've just been leaving your messages unopened or even unread, it's because we probably not cool like that. And for the simple fact that you have my phone number, you could check on me at any time and you don't. I'm also have been kind of hiding to some degree and ignoring people because I'm sick of the same old from people. People messaging me and being like, hey, what's up? Like boring ass conversation. Y'all don't have nothing good to say? Go find somebody else to do that shit with. Otherwise, everything is all good over here. Your boy made it. I was about this close from having that shit rupture, which if you know anything about these things, that if the thing ruptures on you, you can potentially die from that. So I do appreciate those of you who did reach out. I don't want you to think that it's gone unnoticed, but I also noticed the fact that you don't reach out to me any other time during the course of my fucking life. So we're good, but if you're wondering why you're not getting a response, this is why. I'm in a new phase of life. This was a very humbling experience for me. I'm not going to pretend like I was untouchable, but I don't have health problems or complications. So when these things pop up for me, my body goes into devastation mode. I wasn't entirely sure what to do, but due to the good care of doctors and nurses and, nurse assistants and techs and all these people. Everybody was showing love at the hospitals that I went to when I was at Kaiser Permanente in Seattle, as well as Swedish. The people up at Swedish, especially my shorty Joyce. Joyce was my nurse every day that I had to stay at that hospital. She knew how much I didn't want to be there, but Joyce made me feel very comfortable. She made me feel taken care of. So Joyce, I appreciate you. I hope you and your family are doing well, and I hope nothing but great things come to you. My next thing is I do want to send a shout out to a really dear friend of the show. Y'all know how Steph used to be on the show, and she used to help me manage all this and everything, and she's been going through some health complications. So Steph, I wish you a speedy recovery, shorty. I hope everything is going well. I know you got the boys to take care of, and you're doing a lot, with businesses and working and family and all these things. And so I just hope you recover fast and get back to doing what you love. Again, hope all is well. Let me know if you need anything. We don't got a lot of time, but I figure let's get into it. You know what? I've just noticed the last couple of days, because I'm only on Twitter now. My meme page got deleted. IG kicked me out of there. So this is not nothing new. I stay getting kicked out of places. Don't know how to act. Very immature. It is what it is. Age 35. This shit is pathetic. So they basically deleted my page. So there is a new page that is specifically for the show. It's listed under my name, Memecle Jackson, but it's the Lunchtime TV page. If you go back on there, there's a couple of old clips from old episodes, and then there's just a handful of pictures of me. I didn't do a whole lot because I did it while I was laid up at the Swedish place, chilling in my hospital bed. That shit was crazy. But like I said, we don't have a lot to get into, but I wanted to, because I'm on Twitter and Twitter's popping, I just want to quickly address this DaBaby DaniLeigh situation. And if you don't know anything about this has occurred within the last couple of days. Buddy had to call the cops on Shorty for a couple times because he claims that she assaulted him. No one knows because we're not at the house. But then yesterday they were both on their respective IG lives, basically talking crazy to each other and about each other while being in the same space. This is where we're at as people. Niggas can't deal with, and when I use that term, I'm talking about everybody. We're having a hard time dealing with confrontation amongst other people, so we can't talk to people in their faces. We have to talk about them to the internet so we can make sure that the line in the sand is drawn and people can pick sides. So DaniLeigh just had this young fella's baby. I guess they have a young daughter, 3 months old. All the stuff with what pregnant women go through after pregnancy, I know nothing about that as a man, so I'm opting not to speak on that portion of it. I've noticed a lot of people are bringing that up. Like, how dare he treat her like this because she just had a baby, and think about I'm going to say, how dare he treat her like that because she's the mother of his child, and that is it for me. The other stuff, to me personally, it don't matter, because the bulk of the corniness of the situation, I don't feel has much, if anything, to do with her just having a baby. Because even if she wasn't pregnant, the way that she is being treated, but also the way that she is treating him, is corny. So it's just corny in general. So let me get to the part that I think is the corniest. So apparently she had a Plan B pill sent to the house because she no longer wants to just have her club shot up by him with no responsibility being taken care of. That's understandable. He was upset. He asked her to vacate the home that ultimately is his. He asked her to leave. This happens at like 1 a.m. or something like that. So off top, people are going crazy because it's like, oh my God, you asked the mother of your child to leave your house at 1 a.m. with your newborn baby? That shit is crazy. I'm not going to lie. That's crazy. But here is my thing. She's also famous. She has money, has resources. If he asks you to leave his house, why don't you just leave? I'm sorry, maybe it's not that simple, but for me, when I'm hearing it, it's like a person asked you multiple times to leave the space that y'all share. That means they have made their choice about you. They no longer want to share said space with you. Why continue to stay in the space and compound your problem? So then after that, that's when, as the morning goes on, they start to get on the internet. And that's when you start seeing all the back and forth. And at one point during one of the videos, you hear her say, "Oh my gosh, stop embarrassing me like this." And this was the part that I kind of had a struggle with, because in my mind, I'm thinking, if he asked you to leave multiple times and you have the opportunity to do so, why not leave so you can prevent further embarrassment? The more that you stay there with him and allow him to do what he's doing, you're only helping to enable your own embarrassment. Now, maybe because these two people are kind of young, maybe they're not thinking about it from this perspective, but it's like she's playing herself. So he continues to be on the IG Live, and he directly calls her. He says, "This is my side bitch." He said that multiple times. He's making it clear where you stand with him. And yet she still continues to remain in the house, going back and forth to a separate room, and then coming back to entertain him and his bullshit. Now, he obviously, it's corny that he went on IG Live. I can understand for your own protection that you record said incident just in case things flare up and you don't want to be in a he said, she said type of situation. You want to be able to have proof so you can protect yourself. I 100% get that. Going on IG Live is very, very corny. Again, you should not treat anyone like this, but you definitely should not treat the mother of your child like this. This is corny. Super, super corny. But again, you're dealing with somebody who has money, access, and resources. Why not leave when you are asked to leave? It makes no sense. Excuse me. People on the internet are going crazy. It's both sides. Anybody defending DaBaby is corny. Shorty had it coming because, and I don't know this part of the story, but the funny part to me is how people keep bringing up the fact that, is she a white girl? I don't know. She looks somewhat Latino, maybe part black to me, but everybody keeps saying that she is a white girl that calls him nigga. So, and then there are men and women who are also saying that because of that reason, this situation happening to her is her own fault. That part to me is crazy, because even if those things are true, she doesn't deserve to be treated like that. 'Cause again, this shit is just corny. But I just was baffled at the fact that she just stayed in the situation. You're staying at the house while he's telling you to leave. Why do that to yourself? Overall, it gets really interesting now, because now this is the second day or third day or whatever. So I'm listening to other like podcasts and shows and news networks who are bringing up this fact, because this is all made public over the last 2 days. And it's interesting when you hear different people talk about the situation, you can tell that they have picked a side. It is very interesting to me that people continue to say about DaBaby that he is the villain in the situation because of how he was treating her. But at the same time, people are refusing to just say, why didn't you just leave? You don't want to be treated like that by people? Leave. This is the problem with people. Y'all think that you're obligated to stay with people or deal with people and their bullshit. You are under no obligation to anyone. Not your family, not your friends, not your significant other, not none of that. If motherfuckers is treating you bad, you are free to walk the fuck away. What can anyone tell you? Especially if you have money, access, and resources. She's playing herself by allowing herself to still sit in a room with a person who is okay getting online and calling her a side bitch to her face, saying how she's terrible and doing all these things, and then recording it and putting it up on the internet for everyone to see. You could have just left. I'm sorry. Maybe for y'all it's not that simple, and I'm sure I will catch some flack when this goes up on the internet, but I firmly believe that if you did not want to be treated like that, you should have packed your shit up and you should have just bumped out. To me, it's that easy. The fallout from this will be very interesting. Obviously, over the last several months, DaBaby has had some incidents where he made some comments about HIV and the trans community, I think, like just doing the most, just being ignorant. And so he kind of already was in some hot water. So this is just another one of these things where people are going to be like, another reason why we should cancel him. But like, y'all already have beef with the girl too. And I love, again, the funniest part is that when people are like, yo, she's a white girl that calls him nigga, she had this coming. Those two things are unrelated. This shit is just wild, man. Listen, the moral of the story is be careful about who you surround yourself with. And also, there are signs. And I posted a tweet yesterday where I said, I firmly believe that most women are smarter than most men. But once women become dickmatized, all bets are off. And this is how they get treated. Because he made it very clear that you were not his girl. Now, and I know people are going to say, well, she posted all this stuff on her story about how he was saying he loved her and took her on this vacation and da-da-da-da-da. Like, let me tell you something. Even the most horrible people on earth do good deeds from time to time. Him doing nice shit for you don't mean nothing. It's times like these where you can decipher whether or not a person really gives a shit about you and your well-being or not. It's based on how they treat you, not the things that they do for you. Him taking you on a vacation didn't mean you was his girlfriend. Him even saying that he loved you did not mean you were his girlfriend. He made it very clear to you that you were not. And once he told you where you stood, you should have made a choice to go stand somewhere else. And even if that means you got to be a single mom for a while, you know what? You're going to be all right because plenty of women have done this prior to you. It can be done. You didn't have to stay with him. So you played yourself. Speaking of playing themselves, let me get into the Lakers too. We're going to spend 1 minute on this. The Lakers right now, they're terrible. I'm almost tired of watching it. AD got ejected from the game the other night in the third quarter because he got mad at the ref because the ref let the Bulls inbound the ball while he's tying his shoe. Nigga, tie your shoes and get back on defense, bruh. You're supposed to be one of the best players in the league. You acting like me out there. Trash. LeBron, he's missing all these games because he got an abdomen injury. I don't know, man. They need you, bro. You got to put the cape back on and get back out there. Because if y'all lose any more games, I know it's still early in the season, but your season will be over. And that's going to be sad. Another Los Angeles team that everybody expected to be really good was the Rams. And the Rams went out and got their asses whooped by the 49ers on Monday Night Football. That shit was embarrassing. I can't even believe it, man. But at the same time, I can believe it because y'all really thought the Rams was going to the Super Bowl. And they're not good enough to go to the Super Bowl. The same way like everybody thought Cleveland was going to the Super Bowl, and then they're not going to the Super Bowl. So football is crazy. Sports are crazy. The show is back. The topic of the day was just this DaBaby DaniLeigh stuff, or Leigh, whatever shorty's name is. Listen, let me find out she's white saying the N-word. That's going to have me laughing for the next 100 years. Only because if that is something that you do, shorty, maybe this is your karma. It shouldn't be hitting you this hard, though. I think at the very worst, maybe you get canceled, but not you and your child thrown out on the street. That is crazy. Listen, fellas, we got to do better. Even if you got beef with a shorty, you don't have to do her like that. But again, if you're asking her politely to leave and she doesn't want to leave because she thinks that she can just kind of do whatever, make sure you do what you got to do to protect yourself. But that does not mean put your hands on them or do nothing crazy. Call the law. Let the law come deal with it. Nobody want to deal with the law. I bet a motherfucker will leave when you call the law. And my last thing, this was really funny. So literally directly outside in front of my house, this was last week, I was involved in a racial encounter. And I'm telling you that it's racial because why else would somebody ask me if I lived here? All because I was just walking back and forth to my car. So I had to scream at some white lady and her dogs because when I walked out of my gate, the first thing she said to me was, excuse me, do you live here? And let me reenact it. I look her up and down. I got holes in my stomach. I'm walking very slow. And this is a direct quote from my mouth. Lady, shut the fuck up and walk the fuck away from me with you and your stupid ass dogs. Now, the dogs didn't deserve that treatment. I was in a bad space. I was heavily medicated. But I'm letting you know that this isn't how we playing it. And it's how I've been playing it ever since the early days of all this racism stuff. You not gonna approach me and question me about my whereabouts or what I'm doing. Not none of that shit. I've lived on this street probably longer than her, and I did not feel 1 ounce of sympathy or anything like that after I had to cuss her out. You know what she did? She grabbed her dogs, yanked them real quick, and she walked the fuck away. So let that be a lesson to y'all. Even when people are on the injured reserve list, they will still come for you. Do not play with people like me. Try Jesus. Don't try me. Anyway, thanks for tuning into the show. We will be back as planned, regular schedule starting this week. I'm going to re-record another episode this weekend. We'll put it back up on Sunday. This was just a gimme. We had the music playing. I don't even know who this was. This is Nicki Minaj, Wayne, and Drake. Seeing Green. I don't know. Let's get it popping, man. Again, thank you for tuning in. It's Lunchtime TV. I'm out.
As a matter of fact, I had two. No cap, I'm on them capsules. I done relapsed.